it's Susan Kennedy again. Hello. I thought I would show you the way that I stretch my paper after the fact. This is the yellow rose I've been working on, and it was very, very buckled. I hate stretching paper before I do a painting. Actually, I've pre-stretched or pre-wet the paper before showing you, just so it could be softening up. All I do is I dip a clean rag in water and just like this, just cover the back of the painting. Make sure you've got a big rag underneath to absorb any water as soon as it might drip over that edge. Otherwise, you'll find that you might actually damage the front of the painting. You don't want to do that. But just get it fairly soft and wet, and let it soak in, I guess, for about 5 minutes. That's why I did this ahead of time, so I could pretty much immediately show you how I flip it over and stretch it. So this paper has gotten good and soft. You can tell it just becomes very floppy, whereas before it was pretty stiff. And then I'm gonna, since it has been soaking for about 5 minutes before I started the video, I'm gonna flip it over. Actually, I've got it a little too wet. Let me absorb some of that water. Actually sopping up the excess. It's gotten kind of not dripping wet. It's just damp now at this point. But I'm going to flip it over on my foam board, and what I'm going to do is stretch, grasp the painting. You can see where the tape held it down before. There's a little border there. Grasp both sides of the painting and pull. And pull, and man, be careful, because you can, I have done it before, you can tear a painting. So pull hard so that you can feel it give, but don't pull too hard. Pull on opposite ends. I'm going to do the other way. You can feel the paper. It almost feels like fabric. Actually, it's made out of cotton. If you're using a good quality watercolor paper. This is Arch's 140-pound cold press, which to me is the perfect watercolor surface. I just love it. Okay, I've got it stretched. I'm a bad artist stretching it after I'm done instead of before. That's just the way I do it. I'm probably going to hear from somebody why that's no good. And then, this is really loud. I just take regular packing tape. I imagine there's probably some reason why I shouldn't do that too, but I've never had trouble with it. Tape down the edge just about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch in. I'm going to tape it down, and then, just to make sure that it dries completely flat, I'm going to weigh it down with another piece of foam board first, and then weigh it down with a bunch of heavy books. I might give it an hour just to dry out a little bit before I put the books on top. But I have found that using that technique, I come out with a perfectly flat painting. It's pretty much flat already. You don't really want to touch the surface too much because the oil's in your hands. I'm not too worried about it because I know I'm not going to be painting anymore on it, probably. Okay. That's my very unorthodox method for getting my paintings nice and flat. You can see how it finished up, and a little more apricot color of rose than a yellow one like I started out wanting to do. But thanks for looking. Look me up on SusanKennedy.com.